Alright guys, we are back with part 3 with this Washington Redskins playbook, and the formation we're going to be going over now is pistol full house tight. This is for all you pistol lovers. We have a counter in here, we've got a read option to the left and to the right. We have a power option and a zone weak. We're not going to be using all of these runs. I'll go over the ones that we like the best, and sometimes you can sprinkle in the other ones every now and then. The main run that we like is the halfback counter. I'll run this versus a 4-3 stack, cover 3. Back the ball up a little bit. Now, there's a few ways you can run this. The way I'd like to run it is just stock, especially if my opponent is not base aligning. If they do base align, a guy will slide out if you were to motion somebody. So stock, we'll see what it looks like. Our lineman kind of dumbed out right there and didn't block anybody, almost got in our way. Show it again. This isn't as effective as pistol bunch or pistol wide trips, but you can use it, and sometimes you can pop off a big run, sort of like that. Now, what's great about this is if you were to motion a guy, I would motion this left guy. Sometimes you get a nice crackback block on this defensive end after he stands up, which is that right there. If they have really good play rec, sometimes you'll get blown up in the backfield, so that's not something I would do consistently. But it is kind of unique and different because look at this blocking angle. He comes right back at this defensive end. And you get a nice crackback block. Now the other thing you can do is motion this other guy. This is super weighted to the left, so sometimes the backside pursuit will get to you. It's all up to what you want to do, what you feel is going to work the best. Personally, I like it stock the best. I think it's the most consistent that way. But if you are having success moving this guy out to the left or moving this guy out to the left, feel free to do so. Now, what you want to do when your opponent starts to spread their line, you want to audible to read option weak. It's an amazing audible to have. Having a read option is just absolutely phenomenal. Accidentally flipped it. Pretty easy. Pretty good read option. Get some good blocking. Make sure you get down with your quarterback. You don't want to take big hits. I wouldn't call this a short yardage run because this has potential to get blown up in the backfield, sort of like that. This is just a change of pace from our counter play. It's a different look for your opponent. Now you can flip this. I will say if you flip this, if you flick right on the right stick, you guys hear me flicking it, it doesn't switch sides. But if you flick left, it switches sides. Don't ask me why. Maybe it's a glitch in the game, I don't know. But that's how you would flip it. It's not as good to this side because you don't have the best blocking. So I would typically leave it to the left. Show it again one more time. Make them attack I'll make the defense attack the quarterback and show you how you would want to run it if they go after the quarterback. Not like that because you hope for better blocking, but what you want to do is you want to get around that contain the defensive end that stands up, and you want to try to break it to the outside if you can. Don't try to force it though. And then we're going to get into the passing plays from this formation. Our first passing play, and mainly all of our passing plays that we're going to be using from this are in our audibles. We're just going to do a few different things each time, depending on what we get from the defense, what kind of look. Now this is a cover 3. So what we're going to do is wheel the halfback and motion him out to the right. What you want to pay attention to is the flat zone. If the flat zone gets out fast enough, you're not going to be able to throw the wheel, but if it's a little bit slow getting out, then you can snap, throw to the wheel. bad pass from Aaron, which is going to happen from time to time. So once again, this is skins curls. Motion your halfback out to the right. You want to throw it at about a 2 o'clock pass lead, maybe like a 2:30 pass lead, bullet. And we're not getting it right now. Eddie Lacy's just not getting his head around fast enough. Let's show it one more time, see if we can get it to come off. It does work. I have used this in game. It may just be Eddie Lacy's awareness. It probably is. Let's try throwing it with no pass lead. Sometimes that works a little bit better. Doesn't seem to want to work, but it has to do with the halfback's awareness and actually how quick he is as well. But that's not our only read on this play, so just because that didn't work doesn't mean we can't pass from this. The other route we want to take advantage of is this RB route. And we don't have any issues completing this pass. This gets right underneath the zones. Show it one more time. Snapped it a little bit too early. If you snap it too early before the halfback actually sets, he's going to stay in and block. And our last read is going to be this B curl route. See, the B curl route gets open. If the linebacker were to cover RB, so let's try to simulate that. We're gonna man him up. We're gonna man him up and then motion him out. And then you'll see that the curl route sits in a nice tender area. Now, there's one more setup that I like to run, and this can work versus cover 2, this can work versus cover 3, any type of zone coverage. The way I do it is I motion out the halfback and I slant him. It's like Y trail or from the strong close, or fullback trail from gun split close in the Steelers playbook. Or you can motion over this tight end. It's up to you. It's all about putting the slant over there, because if you do that, then sometimes you'll have A just wide open in the flat. But then you create that, like I said, you create a wide trail concept on the right side of the field, which is really, it's what you want. It doesn't matter who you motion over, as long as you keep that angle route from the fullback and you have a slant route over here. Well, this will work against any kind of zone. What I will say is it's more effective against cover 2, because the middle linebacker in cover 2, I'll show you the play art, is responsible for the deep middle to a certain extent. This linebacker drifts to about this depth right here. And so you want to take advantage of the hole that he leaves. I'll show this play one more time versus, or at least this setup one more time versus a cover 2. You can throw that, you can throw the trail route, which you can also do versus a cover 2, which is kind of nice, because a lot of the routes that we're taking advantage of so far can be stopped by calling cover 2, because it has the flats out there. Is to put your halfback on an in route, motion him to the left, and you want to throw it to X, or they actually gave me the flat that time. You would want to check it down to the flat. Motion to the wrong way. Apologize, guys. Motion to the wrong side. Take advantage of the flat zone drifting too far. Now we'll shade underneath, and I'll show you the X route, how it will get open most of the time against cover 2. sits in a really good spot. You don't have to down pass lead this one because there's no defender right on top of the X route, so you don't have to do a down pass lead. And sometimes it's better not to because the flat zone is in the process of dropping back down to Y. So sometimes you'll throw that kind of a pass, and that's really risky. But that's just another way you can beat cover 2. The next play I'm going to go over is a play called Skins Corners, but we're going to back out and go against cover 3 again. Now, this is what Skins Corners looks like. You've got a deep corner route on the left, or the right. You have a C route, or a C route on the left. And the way you want to set this play up is motion this tight end over to the right and put him on a fade. Now, you have to trust your read. If you read cover 3, you can throw this. Typically, the flat zone will drop down a little bit earlier. You also want to make that read too. Check to see, number 1, is the flat zone going to drop down and cover my fullback? See right here, it doesn't. That's free yards right there. But if they start shading underneath, which is what people most of the time will do from this formation, you can hit the corner out. And typically it works even if they don't shade underneath. But practice mode's a little wonky sometimes, a little weird. So shade underneath. There it is. That's your corner route. We're working this formation really, really similar to how we work guns play close, if you guys are familiar with that. Same route concepts for the most part. Show it to you one more time. This is without underneath coverage. You can still hit that corner route. And that's how you want to beat a cover 3. That's how you want to get big yards against a cover 3. Now, some other little small things that you can do really easily from this, since we have 3 guys in the backfield, you can easily do makeshift screens. So if I were to just swing this guy out to the right and swing my tight end to the right, motion him over, we have a makeshift screen over here. Snap, throw it, get some good yards. But the opponent can use that really easily because those guys are not on blocking assignments. They are out on routes, so they will not recognize anybody coming down and try to chip them. So just don't fall in love with using this. You can definitely make this part of your offense, but I wouldn't recommend using it all the time. And you see, for all that work as far as hot routing, we only got 5 yards. So it's not the most economical way to go about it. And our last passing play is our play action audible. Now this is primarily a rollout play. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this formation so we can roll out to Roger's strong side. If you have a left-handed quarterback, you would want to call this just stock. But if you have a righty and you really love this play, it's not the best rollout play in the world. But if you want to be able to roll out from this formation, you would call it flipped. Called against the cover 3 sky as well. All I do is I swing the halfback to the right, motion this fullback. When he gets to right there, you snap and roll. Now, because we only have about 2 passing options on this play, that's why I say it's not the greatest rollout type of play. Really, all you have is the halfback and X coming across the field, or you have the option to take off. So don't fall in love with that. Use that sparingly. That can be effective, but it's not part of the main scheme. You really want to take advantage of skins curls and skins corners, and the read option and the counter game. Guys, that's going to be it for part 3 of this Washington Redskins ebook. Make sure you guys tune in for part 4. We're about halfway there. If you guys are liking what you see so far, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We would definitely appreciate that. And I will see you boys in